Feel bad for
Everyone,
them.
welcome to our press conference this morning
Woo!
for Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. Our next question will come from Jamie at Sci-fi-vision.
Hi, I'm Jamie Ruby from Sci-fivision. Nice to talk to you guys. This question is actually for David. What was it like coming back after this many years? And was it easy to kind of, I guess, step back into him? Or was it difficult to find him again?
You know, it was insanely difficult and ultimately easy all at the same time. The pressure was certainly there because there's a lot of expectation. And when the announcement came out that we were doing this, the internet stopped working for a quick moment. So there's a lot of people with a lot of opinions and a lot of anticipation. So that pressure was certainly weighing down on me. But the actual doing of it was really easy. It wasn't like, you know, as a sport you hadn't played in 13 years and it's really hard to pick back up. It was just there. And in fact, I remember the first scene I had with Selena where it was just and Alex for the first time in, 13 years or whatever. It was like not a moment was missed. It was like we had been doing it ever since the show ended. The chemistry was there, the banter, the timing, it was all right there. So it really was really easy at the same time, but also really hard. But we've taken very seriously the development of this show, so we really are excited for original fans and new fans to have this experience.
Okay, great, thank you.
Kristen at Pop Culture Planet.
Hi, I'm Kristen Maldonado from Pop Culture Planet. I gotta say, I love the first 3 episodes we've gotten to see so far. It's so much fun. And it got me really intrigued to learn more about this magical world. Now that Justin's family knows he's a wizard, I'm curious about what that means for the kids, his sons being thrust into this world. And also, do you think that maybe they'll discover that they have their own abilities? I don't know if you guys can share anything.
I mean, Roman and Milo are definitely being thrown into situations that they've never experienced before. I don't know. Max can speak more to his character, but my Roman doesn't love it. He wants things to be kind of the same all the time, and so when Billy comes along and starts causing magical chaos, he doesn't really know how to react, and he's trying to navigate these new situations.
Yeah, I think it's the same with Milo, except he kind of really enjoys it. I think he's always believed in magic and all this like crazy stuff that's going on, monsters, everything, and I feel like he kind of enjoys all the excitement in his life.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Pat at Pop Culture with Pat.
Pat from Pop Culture with Pat. Great to meet you guys today. Watching the first couple episodes really brought me back to my childhood. So I'm curious this question is for all of you guys, and we'll start with you, David. What were the elements of these characters that you were most excited to explore this season?
Yeah, for me, my focus really was on trying to. My focus was really a little bigger than just something character focused. Like I was really trying to recreate something that we had in the old show for a whole new generation. So for me, I was like, how can we make a show that can give a big warm hug to the original fan, but at the same time make that hug also an invitation to recreate an experience they might have had when they were a kid watching the show with one of their parents. So hopefully the original fan watching will grab one of their kids or a niece or a nephew or a little cousin or someone they're babysitting and recreate that special experience. If they want to watch it on their own, that's totally fine too. But I really was focused on trying to give that person a big old hug, but also invite in a whole new generation to experience the magic and the love of the Russo family in a whole new way.
Excellent. Our next question comes from Alex at The Laughing Place.
Hello. My question is in particular for the kids. I was curious if you could talk a little bit about working with some of the special effects, but also for David, I'm curious if you had any advice for them, given your experience on the original Wizards.
I'll start real quick, and then the kids can all jump in. But my advice was less about special effects and just more about trying to keep a good culture in place, because we had a very good culture on the original show, and a lot of that I think has to deal with perspective. And the best cultures I've seen in my 26 years in this business are ones that really have a servant leadership model, where first and foremost we realize that we're here to serve the audience, that there are kids out there who might be having a rough day that are sitting on their couch and could really use some heart and humor. So for me, always keeping that perspective is a humbling thing and allows me to get out of my own head, put my own ego aside, and focus on using my talents to do something good. And that I think has been at the heart of all the best cultures I've seen on all shows, not just Wizards, but on all shows and movies that I've done. So I talk a lot about that with the kids, and we all discuss that and have different takes on that. We'll bring different quotes to the table at times, positive quotes, and keeping that spirit really does keep us united and keep us on the same page when it comes to why we're all here, and what our goals are. And in a way, that's the best way to serve yourself, right? When you're helping others, you're really helping yourself. How about you guys? What with some of the effects and things? How has that all been for all of you?
I've never, I don't know about everybody else, but I've never really done something with this much magic and sparkles and effects. And I think it's really cool because when we're filming, we just have to act like they're there. And that's hard sometimes because, you don't know what it's going to look like and you just kind of have to trust that it's going to turn out. But watching it back, you get to see, you get to see why you were doing the things you were doing and how it all ties together. And I think it's really cool that you just have to trust and then you'll get to see how it turns out.
Yeah, it's similar for me. This is my first big role and the show has a lot of special effects. So this is my first time really doing something with like acting with special effects. And so it's definitely a challenge, but it's a fun challenge and it's one of the reasons why I love being on the show so much. And I really love seeing how it all works out in the end.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting too, just to see, like, because I, as a kid, watched a lot of like magic shows and like fiction shows, and it's interesting to see how this all works out, like how this appears, how that appears, and I think it's just so much fun to be doing that with all the effects.
Thank you, guys. Our next question will come from Christopher at the Hollywood Handle.
Hi guys, I'm Christopher Gallardo with Hollywood Handle, and for you, David, and I just want to open this up for everyone else as well. As a huge fan of the original show and 2010's Disney, I really loved watching all of the story arcs like versus vampires and versus werewolves. How do you think those arcs have influenced how you wanted to form the show story? And I know I also saw the Greg Sulkin post with you, David. So are there any particular characters from those arcs that you'd love the new Russos to interact with?
So yeah, I would love everyone to come back from the original show. For me, though, it's about how they come back and making it meaningful. The worst thing we could do is make it feel cheap when someone from the original show comes back. So it's really about how that character interacts with the current story that we're trying to tell. But we, Selena and I, especially over the years, have taken a very close look at what made that original show special and the different things that we did that led us to winning Emmys. And we've had a very careful eye in trying to carry a lot of the spirit of that forward into this new show. And I'm excited. I want the original fan to feel like they've been given a big warm hug and also an invitation to maybe bring a younger person in their life into watching the show with them and kind of recreating that experience they might have had with a parent when they were younger. And if they want to watch it on their own, fine. They'll still get the big warm hug. But we are hoping to recreate special moments that they had as a kid with their parent with this whole new show and a co-viewing experience.
Excellent. Our next question will come from Lupe at Celeb Secrets.
Hello, everyone. Lupe Arenas with Celeb Secrets. David, I will say I definitely received that warm hug when I was watching the episode. As for everyone, I want to know what was going through your mind when you found out that you had booked this role for Wizards Beyond Waverly Place, whether it is your first big role or, you've done stuff here and there.
I was kind of in shock. I didn't really know how to process it. And then once it really started to sink in, I realized how much this was going to change my life and that I was really excited to start this new chapter.
Yeah, similar for me. I was very excited because, I had done so many auditions and worked really hard to get the role, but I was also really scared because this is my first big role.
Every role is a big role.
Yes, of course. Of course. But this is like my first being a series regular on a TV show. And so I've never done anything like this before. So I was definitely looking forward to it, but I was also really nervous.
Yeah, this was my first series regular too, and I was just like so like amazed how my life had changed in the matter of 5 minutes from a like an audition, and I was just like I couldn't believe what had happened because I was just kind of in shock because I had done a little bit of acting, but this was like my big. I really wanted to get this role. I loved Milo, and when I got it, I was just like, wow.
And I think like for me it was very surreal because at that time, like the timing was just crazy because at the time I was really in like a place of self-doubt and I was like kind of like questioning my craft and myself as like a person, wondering if I'm actually really gonna make it in life. So the fact that I had got it at the time that I did, I like just felt so like grateful and blessed to be in to have this opportunity. And I didn't cry in front of my mommy or my papa because, you know, I was trying to act like a big dog. But when I got to my room, I just started bawling, like tears of joy, because the timing was just crazy and, you know, it felt like my prayers were answered.
Thank you.
Should I jump in there? Sorry.
Go ahead, Mimi. Go ahead, Mimi.
Yeah, no, it was for me, it was an amazing process. It was really fast. So I think I sent in a tape over the weekend and then got in front of everybody on like Tuesday and had the role by Wednesday night. So it was a super, super fast experience. And I just remember getting that call and I joked with my husband later. I was like, I was screaming and sobbing so loud. You probably could have heard me from space. I mean, I was just so excited. So it was a really, really quick whirlwind of a process, but it's truly a dream come true.
Thank you, guys. Our next question will come from Megan at Beautiful Ballad.
Hi, everyone. Megan with Beautiful Ballad. I think one of the best parts of the original series, obviously, is the family dynamic with the Russos. So watching these 3 episodes, I, as a fan, got a very good sense of that. So this is really for everyone. I'm going to start with Mimi. How did you guys create that family dynamic and have it come across the screen so successfully in only the first 3 episodes?
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's easy when you're acting opposite David. He is so funny and so good at what he does and so at home and who Justin is. So I really felt like it was my job to sort of meet him where he is and really create a realistic, you know, the writers give us so much great stuff to do, but really wanted to show this is a real marriage. You know, we're both married in real life. And so there are oftentimes scenes they'll write us where I'll go like, do they have cameras in my house? Because my husband and I have had this exact conversation. So a lot of that came so easily. We immediately got along and with the kids, I mean, they're incredible. I'm not a mom yet in real life, but I always joke this is like great training. And we just sort of tried to find things about one another that felt real and felt like a real point of connection so that would come across in our chemistry.
Yeah, Mimi's Greek too, and I'm Italian, so that we always felt like we were. I felt like right when we met, I was like, oh, you know, it's like same corporation, different divisions. We feel like we're all in the same family early on. So for Mimi in particular, as my wife in the show, we got along immediately. My wife and her get along. I get along with her husband, so like we instantly clicked, and that's an important part of the family. You know, that kind of sets the tone for everything. So it was. Even in the audition process, I remember feeling more comfortable with Mimi than anyone else, and that you can't put that to words, you know.
All right, perfect. Our next question will come from Neil at Dorkaholics.
Hi, everyone. This is Neil from Dorkaholics. My question is for Mimi. What has been your favorite part of playing the mother of the family, especially as she navigates the chaos of discovering the Russo family secret?
I love this character. I couldn't have dreamt of a better character for me. I'm a lot like her, but she's also different from me in certain ways. It's so much fun playing a mom. It's so much fun playing a mom to these kids in particular. And I really like the way the writers give me so much to do in the dynamic with Justin and in the dynamic with the children, but also with being an investigative reporter. You know, I think it's really realistic. You're watching a working woman with a really cool career also be a mom, also be a wife, and she's funny, and that's just, it's so much fun to play her. It's really a joy.
All right, our next question will come from Dana at the Coalition.
Hello, thank you so much for speaking to me. My question is directed towards David. You know, as Justin, who originally we started watching when he was a child, now adult and a parent, I wanted to know what new insight or perspective did it give you when helping to craft the show, especially with it being led by children and teenagers?
Yeah, you know, it's easy for me to reprise this role because I kind of am Justin in real life. Like, I'm also a father. I also have kids. I care about rules, respect, discipline, order, hard work, doing things well. So it's been an easy. It's basically I am Justin Russo. Just when I play him, it's just like on 10 cups of coffee. That's kind of the thing. So it's just a bigger energy. But you know, Justin has always been, I think, meant for fatherhood. He's always taken life seriously. He's always loved teaching. He's loved helping others. So I think he was always meant for fatherhood. I think his dream was always to be a husband and a father. Except now in this new season, there's been some things that have happened in the past. There's some tragic moments in his career that have made this first season for him what I call the rebirth. So he's rediscovering parts of his past that he missed a little bit. He didn't even know it, but he missed. And so this first season is a wonderful way for his family to learn about him and for him to come clean with his family about who he really is.
Thank you. Phenomenal job.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. Our next question will come from Judy at the Hollywood Times.
Hello, everyone. Judy Shields here from the Hollywood Times. What an amazing show. I got to watch the episode. It brought back a lot of memories with my 22-year-old grandson who watched it when he was like 10 or 11. So, and we were there at D23 when you guys came. And it was amazing to have met you back then. This question is for Janice, LeAnn Brown. Well, what was it like for you to play a wizard and be all cool with that wand? What did that feel like for you?
I think it was very fun. From the beginning, it was a little awkward, especially seeing how like the results came like on camera and everything. And I remember Miss Selena telling me, yeah, it's gonna be a little awkward at first, but then, you know, the wand will turn into your best friend. I even named the wand Bobby. I have a name for my wand.
Well, and you found a new place for it.
Yes.
Because Selena kept hers.
I put mine, so she
No, you tell the story. Hers was in her boot. Yeah.
So obviously, I think we all know that iconic wand and boot that Alex has. I put my wand in my sleeve sometimes. So yeah, so the wand is definitely becoming my best friend, just like she said. So it's super fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question comes from John at Nerds That Geek.
Hi, everyone. John with Nerds That Geek. This question's for David. David, what does it mean to you now to be the shepherd of the next generation of this story?
Meaningful is the word. And it's such a treat to get to watch, like, I see myself in a lot of these kids, and to get to watch them go through what I went through before the show comes out. I'm like, you guys have no idea what's about to happen. It's fun to watch them get ready for this moment. But you know, for me in particular, I take very seriously kind of my dual role as I see it in my head to be a shepherd of the spirit of the original show, but also the culture on set and the atmosphere I seek to create. I've been doing this for 26 years now. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of this business. And I really seek to bring forward all the best experiences that I've had to try to create the most positive culture on set that allows for everyone's success. And you know, by the grace of God, it's been going really well. I've seen all of these young actors continue to mature and take ownership over their characters. The talent level is already very high coming in, but now I'm really seeing everyone settle into their characters and make it their own. And that has been just such a joy to get to witness now from a different position, kind of as a producer, because I remember doing it as a kid is one thing. You're kind of just in it and you're doing it, and you're so focused on what you're doing that you don't see the growth yourself. But I get to see it now from this perspective, and that is such a joy to witness and continue to help encourage in all these young actors.
You do an amazing job of it.
Thank you, buddy.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right, next question comes from RC at Fanboy Nation.
Good morning, everyone. This is for the younger audience. With David being the elder statesman of the series and having gone through this before, what advice has he given you in becoming part of this new franchise or this sequel franchise?
He told me, we're all here for you. Like, this is your place to thrive, and it's also your place to fail. And we're gonna support you through that. And just know that this is an environment where you're loved, no matter what.
I remember David was telling us how he was afraid to ask for help because he didn't want to seem like he didn't know what he was doing. But he taught us that, it's okay to not know exactly what you're doing as long as you ask for help so that you can eventually figure it out.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, on my first live show, I was just really scared. I had butterflies, and he just called us all over and he told us, we're doing this to make a kid smile, to make a kid laugh. And I love Disney and I've watched that, and I've been that kid. So I know I love that feeling of being able to make the kid laugh and make the kid smile that, I kind of am myself.
Yeah, I think mine is kind of similar to Max's as well. That's one thing that Mr. David Henrie has taught us a lot, that he says pretty much every live show or every run through. So it sticks deeply with me.
Thank you, guys. Our next question will come from Sean at Nerdtropolis.
Hey everyone, Sean Tochler from Nerdtropolis. My question is for Mimi and our young cast. I want to know when you were first introduced to the original show, and how did it make you feel, and what did you love most about it?
So I'll take that first. I have two little sisters that were obsessed with the show. And so it was the only show I liked watching with them. I was like, this is great. A lot of other kids' shows, I was like, I don't know about this. But it became our show and we watched it together. And it was so nice to get to have that bonding experience with them and those memories. And they're in college now. So when the show was announced and they got to tell all their friends that I was on it, it was really a full circle moment for all of us. I think I know they are so excited. So it's really cool for me to be like, hey, that show that was our show, I get to be on the continuation of it now. So it's really a joy. I feel so lucky.
I didn't watch the original show until I got the role, or really any show for that matter. But when I did started watching it, I kind of knew a little bit about my character. I knew that he was a lot like Justin, and so watching Justin, I started to build my character and see what I wanted to take from the original Justin and see what I wanted to do to make him my own as well.
Yeah, I hadn't started watching it until I got the role as well. But one thing I really loved about it was really just the character dynamics and how everyone gets along with each other. I really love the chemistry between every character, and I think that's one thing that we have in our show as well that I love so much about it.
Yeah. I had not watched the show until I got the role, but once I did, I watched it and the whole thing in like a month. But I wasn't really sure. The show really helped me because I wasn't really sure if Milo was like a smart type character, a not so smart, athletic, not so athletic. And then I saw the show and I kind of based my character on like some bits of Max from the original show. I felt like it was very similar to Max, and just Max myself, some ideas that I made to make the character. And, David Henrie helped me with like how to say lines and stuff, and that's how I kind of portrayed Milo. So that's why it was really useful.
And I was a fan, so I mean, I didn't really watch the original show like that. I watched like 1 or 2 seasons, but I was a big fan of the movies. So I loved the movies. And just by watching the movies, I think what I really loved about it was just kind of like the forgiveness of everything and like how family really matters. How they can have your back. Like in Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie, I really loved the dynamic between Alex and Justin and just, their whole little journey between each other and just that really heartfelt moment that they had during the competition. It really always stuck to me, even when I was like 7 up to 11 and everything. So yeah, I would say that's really what stuck with me the most.
Thank you, guys. Now we will go to Daniel at Music City Drive-In.
Hi, it's great chatting with all you guys today. So my question is for all of you, but I'll start with David. How is it getting to connect? How did you connect with the cast? Because there's quite a few different age gaps, and how did you bond and build up chemistry, all of you together?
Yeah, it's a great question.
Thanks.
No problem. Yeah, it was really organic, and kind of every single person on this call right now, you almost kind of felt called to in the audition process. Like, we saw a lot of kids for every role. We saw lots and lots and lots of kids, but there were really only these guys. Like it's kind of hard to put into words, but like with everyone here, when it got down to it and I was acting with them and we saw them, there really were no other choices. There was a chemistry and an organic feeling that everyone agreed to, not just me, all of our executives and my partners. We all felt like, yeah, it's just this person. There really wasn't any other debate. And then I got to meet everyone's families, and everyone's families here are so wonderful. And I'm a big family guy. My mom and dad come to set, my kids come to set, my wife comes to set, everyone's parents are on set. And I just make a conscious effort to treat them like family because they kind of feel like family, and we are here for each other, and we're here to have each other's backs and empower one another. So it's been something that really, yes, has been conscious, but also very organic and easy at the same time when you're working with such talented and caring people that we have on this call right now.
And what about you?
Yeah, I think for me, it goes back to what David said earlier, which is he's very intentional about the culture and the tone that is set. It is one that is joyful and creative and collaborative, and that really, he's leading us to this next show. That really comes from him, and it's something that I really wanted to uphold and support and be part of. So, I try to bring my best self to work every day. It's easy to do because it doesn't feel like work, and everyone that we work with is so wonderful, not just the cast, but the crew and the writers and truly everyone. So I just feel so lucky. It really happened, to David's point, very organically, all the kids bonding, their families. It's just been so joyful, truly.
Thanks.
All right, and our last question will come from Kristen at Pop Culture Planet.
Yeah, hi. So I wanted to know, I know this season, not only are you guys reuniting with, past Wizards of Waverly Place cast members, but you also have some other Disney alumni directing with Raven Simone, Danielle Fishel. I was wondering what you can tell us about that and what you learned with them on set.
Who do you want to start?
David, if you want to go.
Okay, sure. Yeah, getting to work with those two was great. I had a relationship with Raven for many years. I did That's So Raven with her when I was a kid, so I had known her. I'd never met Danielle before, and I loved her character Topanga growing up. So that was a special one for me. And just getting to see her surpass my already high expectations was so lovely. She really does have a class, have a style, and also she brings a lot to the table as an actor as well. So getting to work with an actor-director like that was everything you hope for, because she's empowering, she's caring, she's sensitive, she knows what she's doing, and she'd get in there with you as an actor and kind of block things with you or hold props or kind of work it out in her head. So you really feel like you're working with a peer. I was so happy to get to work with her and to have her surpass my high expectations.
If anyone else has a story they want to share about working with these directors.
Raven, she was so helpful in terms of like acting and keeping rhythm, and she had strategies and methods that I'd never thought of, I've never heard of before, and we all still use them in these episodes, and her advice was so valuable that it's really elevated my performance.
I love that. Janice, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we learned a lot from Miss Raven as well, because I think she had a lot of wisdom to give us, because, she was in it for so long, and honestly, I learned a lot from her, like, kind of piggybacking off of what Alkaio said. There were things that I haven't even heard of that she said that actually kind of worked for me too. And then Miss Danielle, she was just such an angel, and she was so sweet, and she was so funny. Like, honestly, I think the best way I can describe her is kind of like what David said, a very classy, lovely woman. She had also a lot of wisdom and advice to give us that I think really stuck with me as well. She was just such a great person to work with, and I would hope that we would get to work with her again, and it was just such an honor to have her.
I love that. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you everyone for joining us, Team Wizards. Thank you for your answers this morning, and everyone, thank you for your thoughtful questions.
Thanks.
you all.
Bye.
Thank
you all so much.